What is going on, guys, and welcome to the WWE Payback 2016 review show, results review of the full show. That was a pretty good goddamn show, to say the least. We're going to get straight into it. As for my rating system, I can't remember whether I did do a rating system. I think I'm just sticking to it for pay-per-views, I believe. So we're gonna, I believe, I don't know whether I'm doing it out of 10 or whatever, but what I will do is I will look at my rating system, whatever I chose in the last video, because my mind's fucked up, I can't remember, and I will put in the description my ratings for the show and for the matches itself. But this was a pretty good show, to say the least, for me. A better show all round, probably than WrestleMania, I'd go as far to say, for me personally. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through each and every match. I'm going to talk to you about it, whether I think it's where I think this will now lead us towards, etc. And just generally talk about Payback. Make sure you leave your thoughts on the show down in the comments below. I always am interested and love reading users' opinions on the show. So yeah, look forward to reading as many of them as possible. But what we are going to do first is we are, of course, going to talk about the pre-show matches. There were two. We had one that was Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. The match moved from the main card to the pre-show, which I thought didn't particularly help Baron Corbin. He's been booked fantastically since coming up to the main roster at WrestleMania. Booked fantastically, booked as a monster, and needed a win against Dolph Ziggler, and on the main show it would have just been perfect. But not only did he get demoted to the pre-show, but we also saw Dolph Ziggler lose. Now you could Dolph Ziggler win, sorry. Now you could look at it as, okay, so it's on the pre-show, so not as many people are going to have seen it, but I saw it, and for me personally, I'm not happy with Baron Corbin losing his first pay-per-view match to Dolph Ziggler. Admittedly, it was a roll-up, and it was just to show that cocky, arrogant side getting the better of Baron Corbin, showing a weakness. But to show a weakness in Baron Corbin so early on in his career, in his first pay-per-view match, other than obviously WrestleMania, for me personally, is a stupid thing to do. They've built him up as a monster. They needed to stick to building him up with a monster and show this vulnerability, show this weakness later on once he's picked up a few wins. There's no doubt in my mind that they'll have another match, possibly even on Raw tonight, and Baron Corbin will win, and Baron Corbin will come out of this the better. But the fact of the matter is, Dolph Ziggler isn't going anywhere in WWE. Therefore, the win for him personally it doesn't help him. It doesn't affect him in a way, in a positive way. Whereas a win for Baron Corbin would have affected him in a positive way. But it's typical WWE, and my prediction was that Dolph Ziggler was going to win this match, because I just knew that they would do this. I was convinced, and yeah, they did. But an okay match, nothing too special. If it would have been on the main show, probably would have got a better rating to what I have given it, which you'll be able to see down in the description. But not a bad show. Corbin, the aggressor, as to be expected, was seen as a monster. Let me just turn my phone on silent, because it's already pissing me off, I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, okay match. Not happy with the result and the booking. Interesting to see how Baron Corbin rebounds on Monday Night Raw. Let's now look at the next match. Kalisto versus Ryback shocked me a little bit. This match was a lot better than I expected it to be. Out of the two on the pre-show, this one for me personally, from an entertainment point of view, was a better match. Now, my prediction was in fact that Ryback would take the Intercontinental Championship. My favourite, my highlight from this match, Ryback's entrance, mocking the Chicago crowd with a CM Punk style entrance. It was golden. Now, everyone knows how much I dislike Ryback. If you followed this channel, you'll know I'm not a lover of Ryback at all. But for that 1 minute when he came out, I absolutely loved Ryback. I thought it was absolute golden, absolutely hilarious. Put in a good show. Kalisto wins. I'm surprised personally. God knows what this means to the United States Championship. It's been booked so badly recently. Ryback looked really stupid in defeat. Kalisto beats Ryback again. Maybe they're waiting for John Cena to come back. John Cena, Kalisto, although I'd have thought they'd have wanted John Cena versus Ryback personally. God knows what this means to Ryback next, and who knows what this means for the United States Championship and Kalisto. I think WWE will be craving John Cena to come back And I think this is half the reason why they couldn't do a brand split, because at the end of the day they didn't have enough titles that meant anything. When you do a brand split, of course, you've got the main title, and then you usually have the United States Championship and the IC title as the secondary championships of that show. But the United States Championship has been booked so badly at the moment, it just isn't possible to have that as a legitimate second title. And it's a shame, because John Cena done so much hard work to build it up, and he feels like WWE Creative almost just completely and utterly ruined John Cena's hard work. But not a bad match, a couple of good spots in this match that I enjoyed, and Kalisto getting the win. Moving on to the actual show, the main show, we saw the Vaudevillains versus Enzo Amore and Kalin Cassidy. These two are the tag team that, when they come out, I always get hyped. I always get excited. They always manage to lift me up off my seat, and there's only 3 superstars or 3 people that can do that, and obviously they're included as one. The other 2 are Brock Lesnar and Kevin Owens. They are the people that every single time they come out, I get up off my seat and I am pumped and I'm excited for it. And it can be the shittest match in the world. It can be them versus a broomstick, and I will still get excited. Only 3 team stroke superstars have that ability to do that towards me, and you know, these two make me feel like a fan again. They make me watch it as a fan, and when we talk about Kevin Owens in a minute, he does this especially. I am such a big fan of Kevin Owens, it's unbelievable. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we did see an absolutely horrendous spot here. You'll have all seen it, so I'm not going to explain it too much. It was hard to watch. Enzo smashing his sort of head on the second rope, knocking him out, and he was rushed to hospital. Match stopped. So what will happen with the tag team #1 contender, we'll find out on Raw. I don't want to speculate too much. New Day are inside, but they stopped very quickly. WWE, as always, when something like this happens, deals with it very well. Continued the show, made sure everything was safe, kept the audience informed with Enzo Amore's state throughout the night. And originally, I did think it could be a really bad injury, but a concussion isn't nearly as bad as what it could have been. So we wish, obviously, Enzo all the best in his recovery, and hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later. You never know with concussions. Some are bad, some are not so bad concussions. You just never know. Funny injuries, but I'm just glad that Enzo Amore is okay, not paralysed or something terrible. But hopefully he'll be back very, very soon, and SAWFT will be back in action. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about this on Monday Night Raw. So I can't really give a grade to this match because it didn't really happen. This is a match that most certainly did happen. Now, I said, Harry was over, and I said to him, God, what match are they going to put after Enzo and Thingy? Everyone's down, I was down, it was just a damper, and I was like, oh, there's going to have to be a hell of a match next for me to pick up my mood. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, done it just like that. One of my I don't think it went long. I don't think this match went particularly long. You know, in the grand scheme of things, I would have thought it probably went 12 minutes. I'll just have a quick look here. But what an incredible match this was. Absolutely fantastic. There were some fantastic spots in it. Kevin Owens picking up the clean win. Important for him. He had to win. I wanted him to win, and I did actually predict him to win as well. If we just have a quick look here at what... We haven't got times as of yet on the matches, which is a bit disappointing. But there were just... I mean, I could go through all the spots that happened in this match, but to be honest with you, I'd be here too long. These two are always going to put on incredible matches. I just wish there was a little bit more animosity. I mean, the video package was incredible, but they built a little bit more animosity on Raw and SmackDown, and that's Creative's problem, because they could have just made this just that little bit better. I mean, the match itself was incredible, but with a better story, and there's a story there. They just didn't delve into it as much as they should have done, because it's an incredible story. But this rivalry is going to be seen again. Whether it continues now, who knows? It looks like they're going to go into an IC title thing, we'll talk about a little bit in a minute. Then whether we go Money in the Bank, and hopefully Owens wins it. But a fantastic victory for Kevin Owens, and I fucking love Kevin Owens. The aftermath was great. The Byron Saxton bit was fantastic when he sat on commentary. He is everything I love about professional wrestling and everything I love about the WWE. I just absolutely love this guy. Kevin Owens, honest to God, is my #1 at the moment in regards to my favourite wrestler. Incredible talent, incredible in the ring, incredible on the mic, incredible character. What is there not to love about Kevin Owens? Incredible match, really was, from Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And I don't think the loss hurt Sami Zayn, especially after what happens next. We saw Cesaro versus The Miz in an Intercontinental Championship match. It ended in controversial fashion. The Miz regaining the title. That was my prediction. Again, I have at the moment basically predicted by the United States Championship match everything right up to this point. Now, I know I didn't upload a prediction video, so you're probably thinking, oh, the one time you predict all the matches, right, Cameron, you don't upload a prediction video. Yeah, it's kind of what's happened here, isn't it? But you take my word for it or don't, it's entirely up to you. But genuinely at the moment I've only got one prediction. Wrong, as I say, Kevin Owens on commentary was absolutely hilarious, destroying Byron Saxton, shutting up Michael Cole. I want him there the whole time. I want Owens commentary on Monday Night Raw. The match itself was okay, never really went into full gear. Owens obviously bringing it up a little bit, but it kind of set up this fatal four-way feud now for the IC title. The IC title feeling important out of the United States Championship IC title. That's been booked the better since not this year's WrestleMania, but last year's WrestleMania. It has to be said. I know Cena done so well for so long, but then the United States Championship just fell off the face of the earth. And IC title has pretty much kept momentum. Obviously disappointed that Zack Ryder lost it, but The Miz has been a very good champion. Very underrated heel on the roster. Third in regards to best heels on the roster currently, behind Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Possibly in that, I'd possibly argue Chris Jericho is probably a little bit better a heel than Kevin Owens, but it's very difficult to split the two. And Miz is fantastic on the mic, and a respected in-ring worker as well. Can put on a very good match. As I say, we had this little fight. Miz basically won the title through a kind of shenanigans distraction. There was so much going on, I can't actually remember exactly how Miz won. I think it was a roll-up. But yeah, and with Maurice involved or something along those lines. But then we saw brawls between Zayn, Owens, Cesaro and Miz, setting up what looks like a fatal four-way at Extreme Rules for the IC title. And I, for one, cannot wait for that match. Although I really want to see Kevin Owens in the world title picture. And hopefully, when he comes out of this feud here, he can win Money in the Bank and go in to the world title picture. Because that, my friends, is where KO, Kevin Owens, belongs. Moving on to Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose. A great match again. Not as good as Sami Zayn versus Owens, but a very good match nonetheless. And when you put two workhorses, when you put two people in the ring together, Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose, you're going to create chemistry. You're going to create a great match. You're going to create some fireworks. As I say, not as good as Sami Zayn and Owens, but I didn't expect it to be. A very good match. Dean Ambrose finally picking up a win, and hopefully this can kickstart a better booked year for Dean Ambrose when it comes to pay-per-view victories, and not this 50-50 booking with Dean Ambrose. He has the potential, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, to be one of the best WWE have ever had. They've got to let his character develop. They've got to let Ambrose be Ambrose, and more importantly, they've got to stop 50-50 booking him. Great match. Chris Jericho doesn't really look hurt from this loss, in my opinion. Be interested to see where Chris Jericho goes from here. Whether we see another match between Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho at Extreme Rules. Hopefully, if we do, Ambrose can win again and win this feud. It's a long time since he's won a notable feud. Obviously, losing to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He lost to Triple H recently. Kind of lost to Wyatt, but that was kind of a draw in one. I'm thinking a good year back now. I'm struggling to think of the last feud that Dean Ambrose won, which is a concern, of course. Lost to the Seth Rollins feud. But yeah, lots to look forward to in regards to this. And Chris Jericho's paddy at the end of the match was absolutely hilarious as well. So another great match on the card. We then had Charlotte versus Natalya. Bret Hart coming out. Fantastic to see Bret Hart. Absolutely thrilled that he has recovered from prostate cancer. I believe he's fully cleared at the moment. Incredible from Bret Hart. What a hero. And yeah, nice to see him at ringside. I suppose you could say Ric Flair and Bret Hart kind of took away from what we wanted to see, which was Divas Divas, the women's action, the women's wrestling, and kind of made them the stars of the show, which some will not be happy with. But I do think that's that for Natalya. I don't think she'll get another shot. I'm glad it's over, really. I love Natalya in ring, but I find her really kind of fake on the mic, and I struggle to buy into her character. I think she's a terrible actor. I'm sorry. I really do, and her promos I find really cringy. It was a lovely moment after the match when there was a little bit of a a finish in which the screw job, the Montreal screw job, but the Chicago screw job that they're calling it. Yeah, I'm not that into it. I mean, it was a bit pathetic. Charles Robinson, just running out the ring and ringing the bell. It was funny. It was interesting. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. I suppose it does lead to what looks like another rematch, but who knows really. I'm interested to see what happens to Charles Robinson after this. But yeah, just a strange one. I'm surprised they done the Montreal, the Chicago screw job as it's being called now. Obviously, I understand Bret Hart was there, so it does make sense. But I'm surprised they decided and they came up with that idea. I'm not a hater of the idea. We're getting a story, I suppose, behind women's division, which is nice to see. It'll be interesting to see now what's next for Charlotte. Is it Sasha? Is it Becky? Is it maybe Paige or Emma or Nikki Bella? Who knows? Hopefully not the last one. Yeah, nice bit at the end. Natalia and Bret Hart with Ric Flair and Charlotte in the sharpshooter. It was nice to see that. So yeah, that match, it was okay. It was probably out of everything so far the worst match of the card, but don't let that fool you. It wasn't a bad match, which just shows you how good the card has been so far. We then saw a segment which I didn't think was all that bad. I know a lot of people were shitting on it on Twitter, but essentially Vince McMahon, long story cut short, it was a long promo, a long segment, and I think it was a lot longer because of the Enzo injury, so that's why. So I think, to be fair, that's half the reason why they had to drag it out a little bit longer. Stephanie's very good on the mic. Shane's improving each week, getting more and more comfortable with it again. Obviously, he's been away for 7 years. It's going to take him time to get back to feeling comfortable on the mic. Basically, Vince decided to put Stephanie and Shane in charge. Now, don't get me wrong, this will blow up and it will be a Shane versus Authority for power. That will happen down the line. But I don't mind them together. It's kind of an interesting dynamic. You've got the face and the heel having to work together to produce a show. It's an interesting dynamic, and it just freshens things up ever so slightly. I'm happy, of course, that Shane McMahon still has some sort of control over WWE. Someone threw an idea about Paul Heyman being in charge. That would have been awesome. But Vince decided to do this, and yeah. It took a long time to get to the point, but it is fresh, it is new, and it will be interesting to see how that story develops between Stephanie and Shane McMahon. At the end of the show, they certainly were getting on very, very well. Main event, Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles. Roman Reigns picking up the win. Hardly a surprise, but the match was great. And I'm not a lover of Reigns, and I don't think I am going to be a lover of Reigns until he turns heel and they stop throwing him down our throat. Every time as he's the champion, I'm going to be going in wanting the challenger to win, and probably disappointed when it does. And don't get me wrong, I was disappointed when AJ Styles didn't win. But the match itself was fantastic. Good booking. The first one, AJ won by count out. Shane came out. That's not how we're ending it. No count outs, blah blah blah. Then he won the next one by disqualification. Steph comes out. We're not ending it like that. And the final one, Reigns in the end winning with a pinfall. We saw the Bullet or the Anderson and Gallows coming out as well, getting involved. Usos getting involved as well. This feud's not done. They'll meet again at Extreme Rules. Some people disappointed not to see Balor. Kind of doesn't make sense to see Balor if they wanted to do another rematch. Maybe we'll see him at Extreme Rules. We'll be interested to see how this develops. For most part in this match, Roman Reigns was playing the heel. Whether that was because he was in the Chicago crowd, I don't know. But he was certainly playing the heel. He put in a good performance, but I don't like Reigns. I don't like him as a wrestler. I don't like his character. And I'm not a lover of the man himself. I do not like Roman Reigns, as I just said. And for me, him as a champion, I do not like. And I'd love to have seen AJ Styles upset the odds and win the title, but it didn't happen. Maybe it will happen at Extreme Rules. It's not going to happen, let's be honest, but it will be another good match, Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules, believe it or not. But yeah, another great match. We had the flying forearm through the announce table. That was a great spot, and yeah, just a very well booked match. And they done well considering Roman Reigns was going to win, and yeah, they've done well to sort of soften the blow type thing. As I say, many people are disappointed about Balor not returning. What it means, I do not know. It's always difficult after a pay-per-view because there are a lot of overhanging questions, because that's the point of a pay-per-view. You want to get somebody interested in continuing to watch and watching on Raw. So I'm sure I'll answer a lot more of these questions similar time tomorrow on the Raw review. But that is pretty much it for this pay-per-view review. As I say, I will put in the description my ratings for each match if I remember. If I don't, I do apologise. But yeah, very, very good show. Good main event. Match of the night, of course. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Hopefully Enzo gets better soon. Looking forward to Monday Night Raw tonight or tomorrow afternoon, because I probably am not going to be able to do 2 nights in a row at 4 o'clock. Thanks for watching this show. If you have enjoyed it, then please leave a like. SmackDown is coming to the UK 3 hours before USA and I think other Canada and other places get it. I feel privileged. I'm finally able to watch a live WWE show. Well, it's not live because it's pre-taped, you know what I mean. Watch a WWE show first time at a normal-ish time. It's great. Really happy with that news. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Thanks for watching. Payback, even. Very, very good show. And looking forward to Extreme Rules in a couple of weeks. And looking forward to Monday Night Raw tonight. It'll be interesting to see how that dynamic between Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon plays out. Thanks for watching. Get well soon, Enzo. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye. How you doing?